Just finished rewiring the whole garage here. It's kind of a mess, but I was going to start insulating it for the winter, and I noticed that the wiring was all really shitty and wrong and pretty dangerous. I found a hidden combo box up in my rafter with like 9 wires all tied together, and noticed that outlets had the wrong amperage on them for the wrong wire, and then everything was just shitty. So it worked forever, but I figured before I do insulation, I'm gonna fix everything. So I pulled every wire out of the garage and rewired everything. So you can see all the outlets are 20 amp outlets with 12 gauge every outlet now. And then I usually like to do things kind of overkill, like how I rewired my house. So every outlet on that wall, which is the east wall, is on its own breaker. This is the south wall, so I got outlets down there. That's on its own breaker. This is the north wall where my bench is. Those are all on their own breaker there. And then this is the west wall for the TV and my little bench thing. And these all have their own breaker too. So I got 4 breakers, 20 amps for each of the walls. I put the garage door opener on their own 15 amp, probably overkill, but whatever. I put a fan in too to help move some air around in the winter and the summer. That's on its own 15. Outdoor lights are all on their own breaker. I got a 3-way switch for the main lights, so that's the left one there. The right one is for the air compressor upstairs. So when you want air, you just flip that on, and then that's just wired into the outlet upstairs. Over here, show you the box. Usually I try to do a pretty good job with these and keep it clean. I still got some room. These bottom 2 here, I'm gonna do a 240, I think, and just run a plug down there. Might as well, but all the wires run up. And yeah, it's working out good. This is the other 3-way for the interior lights. This is the fan. This is the exterior lights. And then there's a run. I usually leave those kind of loose. I tie them up together, but I leave them loose up in the rafters there. I got a bunch of staples I got to put together. But yeah, it's going to work good. So for lighting, I did outlets, and I bought a big box of dual LED bulb. They're over there from Amazon. They got really good reviews. I did buy a bunch of these Harbor Freight ones temporarily, and they work really good. So I put 3 of these in the upstairs with a little light switch by the stairs to go up there to turn that on. And then, so now I just got to clean up my mess a little bit. And then I'm going to start putting the baffling for the, right there for the soffits before you put the insulation up. And then there's my insulation. And yeah, that's about it. Just getting ready for the winter. This is the second can of wiring and fixtures, and used to have these old can lights, which they really do work good, but I just don't like them. They're old school, and like I said, I didn't reuse any wires, so I gotta cut these down a little bit to fit them in there, the old 4-footers. But yeah, this is basically what I worked with. A lot of this shit, these open circuits like this, I can't believe that whoever did that used that. But I mean, it worked for years, but not good. Other thing I did was add power in the soffits for exterior. I ordered new light fixtures too. I got 2 in the front to That's why the wires are sticking out. And I got 2 on the side. Those are gonna go on with the dusk sensors. But yeah, now I got soffits, power outside, which is nice because you don't have to run them through the door or the garage. And here's the upstairs. I got a lot of shit, but I just did like I said, these Harbor Freight lights. I don't need to screw them up there. They can just sit up there on the ties, the rafter ties. But plenty of light up here. And I got outlets out there, and I just put the compressors up in the attic. Keeps them off the floor in the downstairs, and it's a little quieter up here too. But spare motors, heads, tires, engine parts, monster car doors. You know, the one thing it's always funny to think about is before I had the shed, I used to carry the four-wheelers and the dirt bikes up here with Dakota up these stairs and store them up here over the winter, and then carry the snowblower down the stairs. That was always kind of fun. And then you have to ask the right people for help, because you know, you drop a snowblower or a four-wheeler or a dirt bike down these stairs and someone's gonna get hurt. But yeah, I always laugh about that. We used to carry them up the stairs and put them up here. All right, the insulation is done. I did 38 on the ceiling. I did 15 on the walls. And then my plastic for the upstairs there. Took like 2 days. Not too bad. And I put all my stuff back kind of in where it has been. I just wanted to get it kind of in a usable spot again. I got so much crap I still got to clean up and reorganize. But yeah, it made a huge difference with that fan and with the insulation for, I think the true test was the other night for arm wrestling. It was really nice in here. Everybody was in t-shirts, and I had to actually shut the thermostat down just a little bit because it got up to like 82 degrees. But the one thing I'm thinking about is the ceiling. There's a couple different options. The one I was leaning towards was the metal paneling in white. I think it'd be super clean, and it would reflect light, make it really bright in here. But I was reading reviews on it, and people say that it echoes noise a lot. Which, I'm in a garage. I mean, it's a functional garage, so I do make noise in there, so I don't really care about echoing. I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. The other thing was the, obviously drywall, 1/2-inch drywall, or another one I saw was OSB. Now, OSB right now is the same price as drywall. They were both 16 bucks a sheet at like Home Depot, whatever. OSB would be a lot easier because you can just screw it up there. You don't have to finish it. It's, I think, better for a functional garage because you're going to be hitting the walls and the ceiling and whatever. So there's a couple different options. A buddy of mine works at the metal place that has all the paneling, so I got to take measurements, and maybe I'll just do the ceiling in metal, and then the walls I could do drywall. Or what I was actually thinking too is metal ceiling, and then 4 foot of the bottom in OSB around the perimeter of the walls, because that's really what hits things. When you lean against it, the bottom of the walls usually get hit a lot more than the tops get damaged. So OSB on the bottom, and then drywall on the top, and then paint the drywall white again to keep it as bright in here as possible. I didn't put the other lights up yet. They're sitting there in the box just because I don't really need them, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do the ceiling now in the winter or just leave it like this and figure out what I want to do and then do it in the summer, because that insulation made a world of difference. I did end up ordering a new toolbox, uppers and lowers. My little black one there's overfull, and I've had that forever. And it's worked. There's nothing wrong with it. I got too much stuff now, so I got to reorganize and consolidate. So the other half of that is moving some of my shelving back here. The shelving's all, I mean, it works. Is it best kind of set up? Not really. And I got that cabinet over there. I got all my scrap steel kind of piled into that corner. So I really like the Husky garage shelving, the heavy duty stuff. It's thinner gauge. I think it's like 18 gauge. So I'm really thinking about that. I could take down all this wood and put in the metal cabinets from Husky. And then over on this side here, I could do kind of a wraparound and get rid of the white cabinet. I don't want to really come out any farther than that. I can do shelving up there, which is fine, and kind of reorganize all that. Same with like up here. I could definitely do some shelving. The stairs, they're not going to move, so I can do some shelving off of the back of that. But I'm thinking the toolbox will be like right here. And then, you know, split the shelving or something like that. I don't know. I got to figure it out, but at least it's usable. I got the car in the garage finally. And it's not sitting out in the leaf pile in the snowbank anymore. I still got a lot of crap I got to organize and move around. More stuff to bring upstairs. I got heavy duty shelves coming in there because these ones you can see they bend in, they fold. If you get too much weight on them. It's just like random car parts and nuts and bolts and whatever. So a lot of this crap I can just literally throw out because I'm not going to use it. And I can't give it away because people want me to ship it to them or whatever. So I'd rather just throw it out if you're not going to come get it for free. And then I'd like to get one shelf there instead of those three, and then bring the rest of the stuff that I'm keeping. Like this one's mostly Monster Car. This one's Camaro here, and that one's kind of a mix of both of them. So all that stuff over there can go upstairs. Half of this stuff can go upstairs. Half of that can go upstairs. A quarter of it can get thrown out between all three of them. And then I'll put one shelf in there with probably a row of uppers up there too. And then I got the steel table, the workbench. I like that table. It's deep, it's wide, it's heavy duty. I can stand on it, and it fits motors underneath there too. I got spare motors under there. And then this shelving is just junk, basically, Aliana stuff and our RC cars and whatever. But yeah, it's getting there. Another thing we did was finish up the outside lights. I got 6 lights. One on the back, I got one on the front too. These are the dusk till dawn lights. They got a sensor on the bottom, so you just leave the power on and then they turn on and off once it starts getting dark out. You can see it's kind of dark, but already turned on. Those are nice.